Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Tomorrow at school we're going to have a potluck lunch, and all the people I talked to asked me to make wings. Well, after Tiffany and I went everywhere we could to find wings, 2 different Walmart, Kroger, the only thing we could find were frozen wings, and I just wasn't up for that. But what we are going to make today is a popsicle chicken. I know that seems a little weird, but what we're going to do is we're going to use drumsticks that we bought, fresh drumsticks. We're going to do this little fancy thing at the end of the drumstick, pull the meat down, and bake them in the oven. So, first off, before we even get started, let's talk about some precautions. Always use a sharp knife. The sharper the knife, the less chance you're going to have of actually slipping and cutting yourself when working with the meat. Working with poultry, you want a plastic cutting board. You definitely want a plastic cutting board because, you know, with chicken, some people are afraid of salmonella and other things. And of course, the chicken juice and stuff will not soak into that. It's easy to wash. And on top of that, if you're really worried about it, sometimes you can work with plastic gloves. That way you don't have to wash your hands all the time. So, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're going to start by taking our drumstick, which this is a really large drumstick with a lot of skin still on it. And we're going to go ahead and trim some of that down because we're not going to need all of that skin. It just makes it maybe a little more healthy when we're working on this. Peel it back. Some's okay, but get what you can off. And then what we're going to do is there are little tendons and other muscles that connect the muscle from up here to this right down here, right below the knuckle bone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut to the bone, you know, as best we can, all the way down. And go all the way around that bone until it's all pulled loose. Again, the sharper your knife, the better. You might have to come in here. There we go. Pull some of this out. There we go. Alright, now, once that's pulled out, I'm going to take a little bit more of this extra skin off here. Go ahead and cut that off or pull it loose right there. Alright, now that that's loose, we can actually work the meat down the bone, almost like we're trying to invert it a little bit, which is what we're doing. We're pulling all the meat down to one end. It may look a little nasty. In fact, it kind of is. But once we get all of our meat down here to this one end, take our knife, we can cut some of these little tendons and stuff loose that we need to. Pull the meat down. There we go. And all of that is dressed up kind of nicely right there. And there's a couple things that we could do. I'm going to actually go ahead and pull this knuckle piece off the top here with the skin, and well, this is kind of hard to do with rubber gloves on. There we go. And of course, if you don't want to, you don't have to take the time to do all of that. And then what we'll do is you dress that up in a nice, neat little ball at the bottom there. And there are 2 ways of doing this. You can straight up deep fry this if you want. But for it to actually retain its shape a little bit better, we're going to be using these different sauces here. We've got a, Tiffany, would you twist these around here for me? Twist it so I can read it. Thanks. We've got a roasted garlic sun-dried tomato, a lemon oregano sauce, and an orange balsamic, and of course a traditional Jack Daniel's barbecue. Mix these up in a bowl, stir them up really well, and then basically you can just take your chicken, dip it in the bowl, make sure it's covered well. You don't want to get a whole lot of sauce on the bone up here. And then we're going to lay them directly on these sheet pans and bake them in a we've already got our oven preheated to 400 degrees. So let them bake 20-30 minutes. Should be good to go. Alright, let's get busy. We've got a lot of these to do. Alright guys, we've got our first tray ready to go. We made barbecue for this first set. And the whole reason why we popsicle them is because tomorrow it's going to be like finger food and other things. And when you popsicle your drumsticks like this, all your meat is on one end, you've got a nice clean handle. So after this goes in the oven and bakes for 30-35 minutes, whatever, here in a little bit, the meat will be nice and done. And since we took the time to go ahead and trim a lot of the meat, we've got a lot of this excess skin and stuff, which will now not be going into our bodies. So this is even just a little bit healthier than what we had before. And again, this is our first tray of chicken. In fact, we've still got 2, 4, 6 drumsticks out of the first tray to go. As you can see, this makes quite a lot. So this will serve quite a few people. Tomorrow I think we're having like 40-some people. So hopefully everybody at least get to try one. Alright guys, we had to revise our time a little bit on these. We checked them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 50 minutes. Cut a couple of them open just to make sure that they were done all the way through, and they were done perfectly. Real juicy, not dried out at all. But this is our Popsicle Chicken. Basically what it is when you have a nice little handle. So you don't have to get your fingers all messy with the barbecue sauce or whatever, and it's nice, easy for dipping. So, you know, I can't look forward to see what everybody else is bringing tomorrow, and hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Thanks.